All right, guys, so today in front of me from Jack Daniel's, we have their 2022 special release. This is their twice-barreled American single malt finished in Oloroso sherry casks. So the whiskey here was put into American white oak barrels and then transferred over to Oloroso sherry barrels, hence the twice-barreled process. This is a 100% malted barley grain bill from Jack Daniel's, which is new. They did give us a little taste of that when they put out their triple mash. There was a little bit of this grain bill in that bottle. Proof ranges on this one, it ranged from 106.1 to 107.8. However, my bottle comes in at 105.7. So I don't know if maybe that was just the like the media sample proof range that they sent out, or if maybe this was maybe it was a different batch. Not 100% sure. Either way, big shout out to Jack Daniel's for sending me this sample here to review on the channel. Definitely excited to get into this one, guys. So without further ado, let's go. All right, guys, so as I stated, this is 100% American single malt. It is a newer grain bill from Jack Daniel's. Again, they played around with a little bit of that with the triple mash that they put out. And again, proof point on this one is 105.7. Let's go ahead and get in the nose. Yeah, so I pick up a lot of raisin, a lot of cinnamon there further into the glass. Further away from the glass, you do pick up that maltiness further away. Further in, I feel like there's a lot of that kind of sherry influence there on the nose. Like I said, there's a lot of raisin, a lot of cinnamon, some baking spices that are kind of in there. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, like on the nose, there's a lot of darker fruits going on there. There's like this prune, date, raisin, definitely a lot darker on the nose. I don't know if that's gonna, influence the palate or not. I don't know if it's gonna come off the same. Further away though, it's like this small hint of like milk chocolate, and like I said, that cinnamon, that raisin, prune, date, just all kinds of just darkness on the nose on this one. But yet it comes off sweet, like it's not, I don't pick up like any oak at all on it. Yeah, just a lot of dark fruit. Like I said, that cinnamon starts to appear. There, hint of like some nutmeg that pops up. I feel like further into the glass is really where you get the majority of the aromas. Further away from the glass, pick up a little bit of that maltiness, maybe like a small hint of like some milk chocolate. All right, guys, get in the palate. Cheers. Wow. So, this was the first time I sipped on this, and I was not expecting that on the palate. So, right away, like on the tip of the tongue, huge burst of cinnamon. Middle of the palate, it goes right into this, like, if anybody's ever been to Dairy Queen and they get a chocolate malt, it's like chocolate malt sitting on the center of the palate there. And then into the back of the palate, it's very weird. There's some of these, there's a little bit of fruitiness to it, like maybe some red fruits. And then like this peanut brittle, peanut butter note that kind of sits back there with some of those red fruits. It dries the mouth out a little bit, but then it's one of those ones that kind of like it comes back and slowly starts to kind of stick to the gums and the side of your cheeks. Flavors kind of sit there and saturate. Wow, it's a pretty good first sip. Let's get a second one, guys. So, the sherry influence on this is bringing forth like these mixed berry type vibes. So, still pick up a little bit of baking spices. Still that like malted kind of that malted chocolate for like from Dairy Queen, like a chocolate malt there that kind of sits across the middle of the palate, and then on the back of the palate, it reminds me of like a strawberry jam and peanut butter sandwich. That's what it reminds me of on the back of the palate. And it is freaking good. It's good. That's crazy to me. This is crazy. I would have never expected to pick up something like that on the back of the palate. Ever. Especially from an American single malt. It's crazy. There's baking spices. Then it goes to chocolate malt from Dairy Queen. And then it goes to strawberry jam peanut butter sandwich on the back of the palate. And honestly, the first two sips, I feel like they drank a little hotter than 105.7. I'd almost say like up in that 110 range, maybe. I wouldn't have guessed 105.7 if I were drinking this blind, that's for sure. Man, this is interesting. It's really good. It's really good. I wasn't sure what to think, to be honest with you. Let's get a last sip, guys. Cheers. Yeah. It is a mixed berry, because there is a little bit of darker fruit kind of there. Some brighter red fruits, but then there's definitely some darker red fruits as well. Mixed with some peanut butter on the back of the palate. It is a mixed berry peanut butter sandwich on the back of the palate, with a side of a Dairy Queen chocolate malt on the middle of the palate, and then some baking spices at the front of the palate, maybe sprinkled on top of that chocolate malt. Again, all three sips dried my mouth out a little bit, but the flavors sit there and saturate. Again, the tongue, the gums, the sides of the cheeks, where those flavors still remain. But then, like I said, it slowly starts to like bring back a little bit of that viscosity. It's not super viscous by any means, but it still kind of leaves some of those oils behind. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I wasn't sure what to think when they put out this single malt, but I'm a freaking fan of it. It is really, really good. Really good. Like, I would buy a bottle tomorrow good. I'd buy a bottle today if it was out good. It's crazy to think that, with a grain bill that that they just tested with the triple mash, to go out and put out a 100%, malted barley grain bill, and then finish it in Oloroso sherry, and not know what to expect. It's a freaking hitter. Fantastic job here by Jack Daniel's. So I want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. I want to send a big thank you over to the team at Jack Daniel's for supplying me with this bottle here to review on the channel. Guys, this may not be a whiskey for everyone, especially someone who's new to single malts. And then not only that, but being finished in Oloroso sherry, it may not be for everyone. So this would definitely be something that you want to try before you buy. But for those of you who are fans of American single malt, who like Oloroso sherry, who like the combination of both, this is a home run for you. For me, in my opinion, I would go out and buy a bottle today. If it's available, tomorrow if it's available, whenever it's available, I am going to find a bottle of it. I absolutely love it. It brings back memories to me of my grandmother taking me to Dairy Queen and getting a chocolate malt when I was a young kid, and then making the mixed berry, strawberry, and peanut butter sandwiches on the back of the palate. A lot of different memories for me out of this bottle. So this one I do need to find. Either way, damn good bottle here, guys, by Jack Daniels. So thank you again for sending me this bottle to review here on the channel. Guys, if you're looking for more reviews like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button, bell notification to be alerted of any upcoming reviews or live streams. You can also find me on Instagram at Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. Until next time, guys, stay dusty.